Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kenny's Kantina, eating in style on the road. I just had my spring break at school, and I tell you what, it was a much-needed break. It's been a very, very busy semester this year. So I took some time during spring break to take a road trip down to northern Alabama to visit my mom and sister. So I used my spring break to stock up their freezers. Boy, did I cook up a storm. First up was chicken and shrimp shish kebab. While I had my grill going, I cooked up some ribeyes with corn and asparagus for dinner. Then crab cakes were on the menu for the next night. I prepared 2 batches and we froze a dozen crab cakes for them. The next morning, I cooked up some breakfast tacos, and then the day was spent on an Italian food marathon for the freezer. I made a big batch of meat sauce, which formed the basis for 2 pans of lasagna, as well as providing sauce for the freezer. I also cooked up some marinara for their freezer that Mom and Sis can use to put over chicken or vegetables, and you can find my marinara recipe in Season 2, Episode 10. And I'll do a future episode on my meat sauce and lasagna. Mom and Sis were very pleased to have their stocked freezers, and I was glad to help as I could. Back home again, let's prepare some refried beans. Refried beans are a staple of Tex-Mex cooking. They're almost always served as a side dish to accompany tacos, enchiladas, or really most any other Tex-Mex dish. And making refried beans from scratch can be quite an ordeal. But I have some tricks to start with a store-bought can of refried beans that turn it into an incredibly tasting side dish. My refried beans are rich, great tasting, and a crowd pleaser to be sure, and so quick and easy. Let's get cooking. Prep time for this is only about 5 minutes, and cooking time about 15 minutes. What we're making today will serve 4 to 6 people. You can store this for a week in the refrigerator, and you can freeze them. So the ingredients, not too much. All we need is a can of refried beans, a half a stick of butter, a 1/4 cup of Mexican red hot sauce, add less if you prefer it more mild, and 2 cups of grated smoked Gouda. So first off, let me open up a can of beans. I'm going to put that into the saucepan, and then just take a half stick of butter, throw that on there. Now traditionally refried beans are made with lard, but that makes it really, really rich. I'll stick with the butter on it. And then let me add my Mexican red hot sauce. Just pour that in. Now, there's several varieties of hot sauce. Any of them will work. So just choose whatever favorite you have or what you have around the house. Now, let me turn this burner on, and I'm going to put this on low heat. You don't want your beans to burn, so I'm going to get that on low heat and give it a stir. Kind of mix all that up a little bit, and then we'll let that heat up. And while that's heating up, I'm going to take out my grater and get the smoked Gouda. And let me grate this. I love the flavor of smoked Gouda. All right, get that grater cleaned out. So there we got 2 cups. So let me get over here and stir a little bit more. And it doesn't take too long for the beans to heat up and get going here. All right, that's getting pretty warm. So now I'm going to take the cheese and put that in. Then let me go ahead and stir that. And in a few minutes, that'll be all melted. The one thing, this dish is so easy. And when you're camping or you're out RVing, you know, this is a quick way to whip it up. And I'm not averse to using canned goods and packets, anything to kind of help it up. Getting it done quick, and it's easy storage. Okay, that is melted. Let me turn off that burner, and it is ready to serve. Easy, right? Let me grab a chip and a taste. That is so good. It's really rich. That smoked Gouda adds this great flavor to it, and there's just a little kick with the Mexican red sauce. You're going to love the side dish. And I serve it often, and people just love my refried beans. They're so much better than straight out of the can, easy to do, and I know your guests are going to enjoy it too. Now, for serving recommendations, they're a great side dish for enchiladas or tacos. Whatever Mexican dish you're doing, it's a staple on the side. I also serve it as a great tasting bean dip as an appetizer. That's always works out great too. And then what you can do is you can make chalupas for a tasty main dish. And chalupas are a flat fried corn shell, and you just put the beans on it, throw some cheese on it, throw it in the oven just to melt the cheese. You're ready to go. So you can use it as a main dish as well. So some tips on this. You want to heat the dish on low heat. You don't want to burn those beans. If you have that heat up too high, you can run into problems. And you can vary the amount of hot sauce based on your palate. If you like it more mild, just add a little less. If you want to really kick it up, add some more. And the good trick of using the smoked Gouda is it adds so much flavor to it and gives it a little smoky taste and really makes it richer. You can also substitute a cheddar cheese for the Gouda if you don't have the Gouda around. I've done that before, and that works out really good. Let's move on to the mailbag. And as I've said before, this is one of the favorite parts of the show for me. I really enjoy interacting with my viewers, so please keep the emails coming. I received lots of feedback on my Hawaiian ham salad. There's several new variations that came out of the questions and comments that had me back in the kitchen. Starting off with Joni from New Mexico, she asks, if I make your dish without the use of mayonnaise, will it allow me to freeze it easier? Joni, thanks for the great question. If you do want to freeze the Hawaiian salad, do leave the mayonnaise out. Mayo breaks down in the thawing process, and your salad will get really watery and it'll lose its flavors. So if you do want to freeze, skip the mayo until after the salad thaws and then add it back in. Next up is Harold from Tennessee, who wants to know, have you ever tried bacon instead of ham for your recipe, or would it not be advised? I haven't made it as yet, but waiting to hear from you before I try it. Thanks, Harold. This is really an interesting idea, and I tried it. I cooked up a pound of bacon in the oven and then crumbled it for a Hawaiian bacon salad. The results were very interesting. The flavor of the dish changed dramatically. I had some RV park friends taste it both ways, and they were amazed that it was the same dish. The flavor is that much different. The bacon just has a totally different flavor. Now, the bacon version did taste great, but to me it had more of the flavor of a side dish, and so it'd be great for a side of brats at a picnic or something like that. So thanks for the interesting variation, Harold, and go ahead and give it a try. It tastes great. Now, Mary from New Hampshire asked, wanted to know if you'd ever tried your salad over noodles as a noodle salad. Mary, this is a great idea. It does make a wonderful pasta salad. And using Harold's suggestion of bacon, the bacon version makes it really good. I really enjoyed it with the bacon. Now, Dan from Wyoming asked, if the family and I went out hiking, how long do you think it'd stay fresh without refrigeration to keep it cool? Hey, Dan, this would be a good dish to take hiking. I'd pack it with an ice pack just to increase the longevity a little bit. But if you did a morning hike, it still should be good for lunch. For another great picnic lunch, check out my curry chicken salad in Season 1, Episode 10. I packed it on a hike at Mount Rainier. Now, Susan from California wants to know, can you make a devil's Hawaiian ham spread out of your ingredients and use it over crackers or over deviled eggs? What are your thoughts? Susan, thanks for the suggestion. I used my food processor and I made it up devil style and had it on crackers. It came out good and it worked well as a spread. It had all the same flavors as the original chunky version, but the flavors were not quite as pronounced. The processing of the salad made the flavors blend together much more so that you didn't pick up necessarily all the individual flavors. So I hope this answers your question, Susan, and yes, you can use it that way as well. Thanks again for all the great variations to my Hawaiian ham salad. Try them out for yourself, and please keep those emails coming. Now, next time on Kenny's Cantina, I'm going to be sharing my take on meatloaf. Meatloaf is always such a great comfort food, and my take gives the traditional dish a savory, smoky flair with a really creative topping. So join me on my take and a new approach on your next meatloaf. Be sure to follow Kenny's Cantina on Facebook and Instagram to see what I'm whipping up between shows. Also, thanks to my tasters for today's show, Kristen, Layla, Jimmy, Hope, Bill, Sloan, Kevin, and Kurt. Finally, a special thanks to IBC Productions and Roadhogs Media Network for getting my show out there to all of y'all. Thanks for watching. See y'all on the road.